welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and spending a few moments of your day with me. Today I've got an exclusive magic review for you guys. We're going over my everyday carry packet card trick set. So I'm going to be going over the set of cards that I carry with me all the time, including my top 5 gaffed and ungaffed packet card tricks that I like to perform. And these are effects and tricks that I've been using for years. The majority of these I've been using for almost 20 years or more. None of these are effects that are new by any stretch of the imagination. And that's because the best magic is really magic that already exists, that's out there. Now, once you've put this together, you're going to have something like this that you're going to be able to carry around with you whenever you want. Now, I don't always carry it with me in my pocket. A lot of times I just have it in my bag, but then it's ready to go whenever I need it to, which is great because once you put together this EDC packet card trick set, you're going to be able to perform any one of 10 routines on the fly whenever you want to. And this is customizable to you, but I found that this set is what works best for me. Now we're going to start out with just taking a look at the packet card trick wallet, because there's a lot of packet card trick wallets out there, and you've probably seen some like this. Now this is a really interesting looking little TCC packet card trick wallet. It's leather and it looks nice. The problem I have with it is that you're very limited what you can carry in it. You could really only carry maybe 10 cards in here, and then after that it becomes really overloaded. And so I'm going to recommend that you take a look at this wallet. This is the wallet that I've used the longest, and I'm just going to take the cards out of it because we're going to go over the cards that are in here in a minute anyway. But this wallet, I actually bought it from an online magic shop that has gone out of business. But it is interesting because I did find a place on Etsy that appears to be selling this exact wallet. It's actually like a leather shop on Etsy. So I'm going to leave the link below so you guys can check it out, because I would recommend this packet trick wallet because I really like how thick and durable the leather is, and I like that it has 4 pockets, and this can carry a lot of cards. But the reality is you don't want to carry too many cards, but you want to carry enough so you can do, what you want to do, which is why we're getting into my recommendations for everyday carry packet card trick set, because with this set you're going to be able to perform a lot of different effects, and there's a lot of versatility in terms of gimmicked and ungimmicked stuff that you can do. So anyway, the way that I set up the wallet is as follows, okay? I'm going to have my Buave set. Okay, this is a set of 4 cards, so you can perform Buave, which you probably have from Max Maven. You probably already have this. I'm going to put this set in one of the back pockets, so that's ready to roll. And then the other back pocket on the other side, I'm going to be putting a set of 8 cards, and these are just regular cards. It's 4 aces and 4 queens, and these are just regular cards. And I'm going to put this set in the other pocket on the other side. All right, so that's the first thing you want to put in there. Then on this side where I had the Buave set, I'm going to put what I call the Brainiac set, and this is a set of cards that you can put together. This is John Bannon's Brainiac effect, but it can also be used to perform his Spin Doctor if you want to, and that's a type of twisting the aces routine. So this set I have in the wallet, and as you can see, I keep the bill around them just like John Bannon. This is actually a $2 bill. The reason is just that way it's easier to identify what it is in the wallet when I go to take them out. So I have that in front of the Buave set. And then the last pocket here, it's really up to you what you want to put there, but what I always carry with me is the Ultimate 3-Card Monty from Mike Skinner. This is probably the oldest packet card trick that I perform even to this day. You may like Color Monty instead, or some other small packet card trick, but this is the one that I carry around, and I just carry that here in the front. And one of the usefulness of it is that the 3 that's in here that's ungaffed, I do use it together with some of the other ungaffed cards to perform other effects. So this is it. this is the set, this is what you're gonna need. And with this, you're gonna be able to perform lots of different effects. So let's get into now some notable mentions, and then we're going to get into the top 5 lists. All right, I'm going to give you guys a couple of notable mentions and some fun things for you to hunt down before we get into my top 5 list. So the first notable mention I'm going to give to you guys is a really slick little packet card trick from John Allen, which is called Double Back. It's a very simple trick where you're going to show the spectator that maybe you've got like 2 queens and 2 5s, and you're going to hand them 2 of the cards, and instantly the cards have transposed between the ones that you gave them and the ones that you're holding onto. It's a very sneaky little gimmicked packet card trick. It's super easy to perform, and I think that you guys are going to like it a lot. My second notable mention is a version of Bob Hummer's Mathematical Monty, but I don't exactly remember the name of the routine, but I think it may be just his Mathematical Monty effect, but uses a mental packet card trick where you put out 3 regular cards face up, you have the spectator think of one while your back is turned, and you have them turn all the cards face down. You tell them to switch the positions of the 2 cards that they're not thinking of, and then when you turn around, you let them swap the cards around as much as they want to. And then you're almost instantaneously able to tell them the card that they're thinking of. In some instances, it looks like an absolute miracle because it looks like you just turned over 1 card and just announced that that's the card they're thinking of. So it looks like you knew exactly the card they were thinking of, even though there's no way that you could know that. So it's a really diabolical little sneaky trick, and I've had a lot of fun with it over the years. And I think it's just Bob Hummer's Mathematical Monty trick with 3 playing cards is what it is. All right, the last notable mention that I'm going to give to you guys is actually like a little Easter egg, and this is an effect from Jerry Sadowitz. I'm not going to tell you guys the name of it or where you can find it. In fact, you guys can hunt it down if you like what it looks like. I'm just going to show you a little demo of it, and then you can hunt this one down. It really does look like a complete miracle. You're only using 5 cards, and it blows people away. Let's take a quick look at it. It's almost 5 o'clock here in the hospital, and things have finally slowed down. I've got a little miracle for you with 5 cards. Now, this little mental packet trick, you could spend years reading books and never find anything this good. This comes from the devilish mind of Jerry Sadowitz. You're going to absolutely love this. You ask him to shuffle those up while your back is turned. Now, keep in mind, you don't know what any of these cards are. They're to look at the top card when they're done shuffling, and you tell them, just give that a cut and complete the cut. When you turn around, you say, is there any way I can know anything about these cards? They're going to say, not really. You're going to take the little packet and either go under the table or behind your back, and you say, I'm going to rearrange these. There we go. I rearranged them now for a magical shuffle. You say, have you ever seen a magic shuffle before? They'll say no, and you say, this is what it looks like. And the reason is because it will bring your card to the top. So you say to them, what was your card? They'll say the 10 of diamonds, and there you go. That will just destroy their mind completely. Let's take a look at my list of top 5 Gaffed packet card tricks. Now, you may not agree with this list. You may think that I've missed something, and that's fine. Just leave us a comment below. I'm going to go through this list, and it's in order of favorites, although I think they're all really good. Starting out with number 5, we have the Ultimate 3-Card Monty by Mike Skinner. Now, this is the oldest Gaffed packet card trick that I perform, and it was actually the first one that I ever learned. The Gaffs do all the heavy lifting for you. There is no sleight of hand, and it looks very fair. So if you have not mastered the 3-Card Monty with just regular cards, then you may want to check this out. I used to really like a lot the last phase where you're only holding on to 2 cards, and apparently one of those is the aces, although it's not. The ace is the card that you discarded on the side before that part. I always felt that that was a really strong climax to the effect. Again, if you have learned the 3-Card Monty with just regular cards, then you may not be interested in this, but otherwise I still think it's an excellent Gaffed packet card trick. Moving along to number 4, we have an effect from John Bannon that is called Brainiac, and this uses the Brainiac card set that I mentioned earlier. You can also use the same set to perform his Spin Doctor if you wanted to, which is a type of twisting the aces routine. But this effect, Brainiac, is a marriage of really Wave and Maniac, and it has a lot of kickers built into it. I'm going to show you guys a quick demo of what it looks like. Let's take a quick look at it now. So for those of you that are not familiar with John Bannon's Brainiac effect, this is an idea of what it looks like. To give you a good idea now, my set is made up of jacks, but you really could use any 4 of a kind that you like. You're going to follow John Bannon's pattern and have the spectator think of a suit. In this case, we'll just imagine that the spectator thought of the hearts. The first effect is you're going to show them that the Jack of Hearts is the only face-up card in the pack. That's the first effect. The second effect is you're going to show them that the other cards are actually blank cards. The third effect is you're going to show them that the Jack of Hearts has a totally different back design compared to the other cards. And then you're also going to explain to the spectator that you know what they're thinking as you put this card in your pocket. You say, I know what you're thinking. What if I had named the other red Jack? Well, if you did, then we could have used the Jack of Diamonds. In fact, you could have named any of the Jacks, because what's interesting here is that they each have a totally different back design. And that's it. What's great about this is that these 4 cards are just 4 regular cards that can be examined. They're just from 4 different decks, and you really can make up this set from whatever 4 of a kind that you like. Moving along to number 3, we have another effect from John Bannon that is called Duplicity. And this was kind of hard to put in this position because most people think or believe that John Bannon's best Gaffed packet card trick is his effect called Twisted Sister. But I would argue that Duplicity may be just a little bit stronger, because even though it does use card gaffs, they can really be examined by the spectator. So in Duplicity, you take out 2 sets of cards and you have the spectator imagine the 4 aces. You have them choose a color. Then you have them choose one of the suits. You tell them that 3 magical things are going to happen, that the color that they chose, those aces are going to turn face up, that the suit that they chose is going to switch places with your suit, and the other cards are going to be blank. And you can immediately prove that to them. There is no sleight of hand. It is very easy to perform. If you can do an Elmsley count, then you can perform the effect. It's very hard hitting. And personally, I prefer it over Twisted Sisters just because the spectators can look at the cards as much as they want. They're not going to find anything unusual with them. And it's just very hard hitting. Moving along to number 2, we have Max Maven's Wave. And for most people, this is probably their favorite Gaffed packet card trick. It is an excellent packet card trick, and you probably should be familiar with it. I probably don't have to tell you anything else about it because it's all just sleight of mouth, really. It's a very, very strong packet card trick because it's got lots of kickers built into it, and that's number 2 on my list. Moving along to number 1, we have a packet card trick that's gaffed that I don't carry with me in the EDC set, and the reason is because I always just carry it with me in my pocket ready to go, and that is Garrett Thompson's Stand-Up Monty. Now, the 6 cards that you need for the effect, I just carry them in my pocket because the effect has to be done from your pocket because you have to be getting the cards instantly. And because of that, I just carry these cards separately and not part of the everyday carry set. But it is my favorite Gaffed packet card trick. And it is something that if you're not familiar with, you definitely should check it out because it's extremely strong 3-card Monty type effect that does use some simple card gaffs that we are all familiar with. So that is my list of top 5 Gaffed packet card tricks. Moving along to my top 5 ungaffed packet card trick effects that I'm going to be going over with you guys. Again, this is in order of favorite as well. So number 1 is my most favorite. Number 5 is probably my least favorite, although I perform all of these tricks, and all of these can be performed with the packet card trick EDC set that I went over earlier. Starting out with number 5, we have Jazz Aces by Darwin Ortiz. This is probably the easiest ungaffed packet card trick effect that's on this list. Let me show you a quick demo of what it looks like. This is the Jazz Aces and probably the easiest ungaffed packet card trick that I perform regularly. You're again going to be using the same 8 ungaffed cards. You're going to explain to the spectator that we're going to take the 1, 2, 3, and 4 aces and we're going to lay them out on the table. In fact, this one will leave face up so you can keep an eye on it. And here in my hand, of course, I only have 4 cards, and these 4 are, of course, the 1, 2, 3, and 4 queens. I'm going to leave one of them on top of this ace, and we'll take our first ace here and put it inside the pack. It only takes a moment, and you notice that it is already gone from here because the ace has traded places with the queen that was there. Now, I know what you're thinking. You didn't know what to look for. Let's do it again. I'm going to take another queen, leave it on top of these aces, and I'll take this ace and put it inside of the pack. Again, it only takes a moment because you're going to notice that here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 queens because the ace has already traded places. So if we take one more queen, put it there, take our last ace, put it inside the pack, just wait a moment, and yes, as you can imagine, all the queens are here and the last ace has already arrived. Moving along to number 4, we have the classic Twisting the Aces. Now, I prefer Bill Goodwin's version, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Let's take a look at it real quick, a quick demo of it.
You really are only using 4 cards, and you tell your spectator you're going to show them each card. The ace of spades, the ace of hearts, the ace of diamonds, and the ace of clubs, and with a little twist, one of the cards, one of the aces has now turned face down. With another twist, now a second one has turned face down. With a third twist, again, we've got the third one has turned face down. And the last twist, now we've got all of the aces that turned face down. Now if I wanted to turn them face up, I could do it like this, but you'd see that, and that's not very good. Instead, if I wanted to, I could just take this top ace, give it a little snap like this, and they would all turn face up. And very similarly, if I took this top ace and just turned that one face down like this, and a little snap, they all turn face down.
Moving along to number 3, we have interchange, and this is the standard interchange type effect that there are so many variations out there. I could do a whole review on this, and this is based on a Sadowitz plot. Jerry Sadowitz published, I think it was back in 1982 in his book called Alternative Card Magic, The More Things Change, where 2 sets of cards switch places, and the version that I prefer is the version I'm going to show you a demo of. I don't even remember where I read or learned the effect because I've been performing it for years, but I'm going to just show you guys a quick demo of what it looks like. And if there is interest, I may do a review just on this plot alone. Let's take a quick look at it. This version, I don't remember where I even read it from, but this plot of the interchange plot, it has existed for a long time. There's lots of versions. You can find versions by like Jack Carpenter, John Rockabomber, even Ed Marlowe. So there's a lot of versions out there, but I like this version. All you need is a cup, and you take out the aces and the kings, and you have them sign the fronts of them. And the reason why it's good for them to sign the fronts is that way there's not going to be any question about whether or not you're using any kind of like duplicate cards, which is why I think it's good that they sign the front of it. So anyway, you approach a spectator after they sign them, you tell them this, say, look, we're going to take the 1, 2, 3, 4 aces, and we're just going to leave them in the cup where you can keep an eye on them, okay? You say, all right. So you say, look, that leaves me with, of course, 2 and 2 makes 4 kings. So if I take 1, 2, 3, the first king, and we just put that in my back pocket here. Take the next king and put that one in my other back pocket here. That, of course, is just going to leave us with 2 kings. So this one we'll put in the front pocket. The last one I'm actually going to put in the cup, but I'm going to switch it for one of the aces, as you can see here openly. And you're going to say, I'm going to put this one in this pocket here. So you just wait a moment, let the magic happen. Reach in there, say, yeah, the ace is still here, but what's weird is this, is that over here, now you got another ace. back here we got another ace. And all the way back here we've got, oh yeah, another ace. So now you got 4 aces in the pockets. The spectators themselves can take the kings out of the cup, and that's going to just blow their mind. I always get really good reactions with this. Moving along to number 2 on my list of top 5 ungaffed packet card tricks, we have an effect from Darwin Ortiz called Jumping Gemini. And this may be the perfect packet card trick. So we're going to take a look at that, and if there is interest in this, I would recommend that you also check out Jack Carpenter's Jumping Gemini 2, which has a nice ending to the effect. Let's take a quick look at it. So here's a quick demo of Darwin Ortiz's Jumping Gemini, which of course you can perform with the exact same cards that I use for the EDC packet card trick set. The best part about this is you can really count out all 4 cards slowly. You explain to the spectator you want them to keep track of whichever card you're using. In this case, I'm using this 3 of clubs. Tell them just keep track of that 3. And since you just saw how I counted them, where do you think it is? They'll say it's on the top, and you'll say exactly, it's back on the top, unless I put it on the bottom. If I wait a moment though, look, it's back on top again. In fact, if I count out all these cards on top of it, just wait a moment, it's also back on top again. If I put it deep down in the pack and wait a second, just as you may have imagined, it's back on top. If I put it on the table, it's back on top. If I put it under the pack, it's back on top. By now, you're probably getting some idea how this works. It doesn't matter if I put it underneath, it's back on top. Doesn't matter if I put it on the table, it is back on top. You probably think that all of these cards are the 3 of clubs, but truth be told, this top card actually is an ace of hearts. This second card is also an ace of hearts. This third card also seems to be an ace of hearts, and the bottom card is also an ace of hearts. So they all look like the ace of hearts. But that's not the entire truth here, because this card here, if you notice, it looks like it's a queen. This bottom card is a queen. This bottom card is a queen, and so is this one. So they're actually all queens. And now you're all reset and ready to do it again if you want to. All right, the number 1 effect, my favorite ungaffed packet card trick effect, is actually a routine I put together from 2 different reset routines. Now, I've road tested just about every reset routine out there, and I found that these 2 effects together really get maximum reactions, because the first phase, which I can't remember offhand the name of the effect, I'll have to look in my notes and see if I can find the name of it for you guys. It just demands attention because it's an instantaneous visual transposition of the cards. And then the second effect, which is Babel's Repro Retro, is more of a meticulous, slow transposition of the cards. So let's take a quick look at it now. All right, here's a quick demo of the reset routine that I like to do. I'm going to show the spectator that I've got just 8 regular cards. I tell them we're going to start with just taking the 1, 2, 3, 4 queens. We're going to leave them on the table. And I'm going to take here the 4 aces, and I'm just going to drop them on top. And you notice that they immediately switch places with the queens. Now, I know what you're thinking, that was really quick. You probably didn't know what to look for. So we're going to do it again, but this time we're going to go a lot slower, just so that way you can kind of follow along with what's going on. So if I take the 1, 2, 3, 4 queens, we're going to leave them there. I'm going to work with the 4 aces here. We're going to take the first ace, and all I'm going to do is just rub it here on the table, and notice how it looks like it's already changed into a queen, which that leaves us, of course, with just 3 aces. If I just start to rub one on top of the other one, notice how one of them has changed into a queen. Now we just have 2 aces left. If I just pass them over the pack, look what's happened. They've also changed into queens. So now where we had 4 aces, we have 4 queens. But this is just an illusion. If I go like this, notice how our first ace is back. In fact, if I pass the packet through my hand, now I've got 1, 2, 3. That's just 4 aces here, because on the table, of course, we've always just had 1, 2, 3, and 4 queens. That's it. That's the reset routine. Well, there you go, guys. That is my list of top 5 gaffed and ungaffed packet card tricks that I like to perform, as well as my packet card trick EDC set that I carry with me all the time. Hopefully there has been something here that has helped you or has piqued your interest. As usual, if there's anything you think I've missed or forgotten, or you have some other suggestions for us, just leave us a comment below. As usual, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next review.